Now, as Ryan, Trenton, and Sean grab your attention towards the world of sports, food, and entertainment, and away from the things that are probably more important, we apologize for nothing and anything that may be spoken, learned, or forgotten today. This is the Real Tree Shaker Show.
Hello, and welcome to the Real Tree Shaker Show. I'm Ryan.
And I am Trenton.
I'm Sean, and I'm pretty sure everyone knows who you are, Ryan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, welcome everybody to this newest edition of the RTShow. We are so thrilled to be here tonight. We're going to do a little bull junket before we get started, but tonight, guys, is the NFC East, AFC East, NFL 2024 season preview. So we each did our own records without talking about it. So what you hear is just everybody's individual brain working or attempting to work, because you try to go through these schedules and it's like some teams you just want to put like 0-17, and it's just like these guys are pros, and there's always that weird little funky game where you get like the best a team does for the whole season, you know, and then they go back to the normal.
There's tons of surprises too.
Injuries.
Didn't y'all pick the Bucks to win 3 games last year?
I don't know.
That was me.
Yeah, that was Sean, right?
Yeah, I think I picked them to go 4-13.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, happen. I mean, I thought Jacksonville was going to have a good year, you know.
True.
So did I.
And we all thought Houston would stink.
Yep.
Although me and T, I think, had them like around 500.
I think I did. I think I said there'd be something.
6-11 is not around 500.
Okay. Well, damn.
T actually had them at 9-8.
Yeah, I remember he had them. He had them close. So that's good. Good call by you.
So yeah, it's crazy when you look at these from just a year ago, and it's just like there's no way I can see these standings repeating themselves. And which, you know, in most cases, you would hope your team or teams would try to get better. But then, you know, you hit contract stalemates and potential holdouts, injuries, like you guys said. But let's give a quick wrap up for the Olympics, guys, as USA dominated overall.
Yes.
I thought it was golf clap. I thought it was a great Olympics. One of the most memorable I can remember. Yeah. I mean, it's
already been the highest rated Olympics of all time. So
yeah. So I saw something. Good. Yeah, I saw something today where the ratings were blew out Tokyo's numbers, except for women's college basketball or for women's basketball. So had they had Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese on that team,
never know
the number. I mean, the men's game was 20 million viewers. Yeah. So, I mean,
I would expect them to be in the 2028 games. Oh, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese.
Well,
so in LA,
no doubt they will be.
Yeah, they have to be. But I can't wait for 2028. So maybe we'll be there broadcasting from the shuttlecock event or something.
Yes.
So,
hey,
well, before we get
started,
started,
beer pong, you know.
Hey, you never. Well,
you never know.
You gotta replace breakdancing with something, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, that poor girl. I mean, that's like us trying to do breakdancing. I mean,
that's what happened. That's what it looked like after I'd go down there and pull a muscle and try to stand back up. You know, squirming around on the floor like that. Yep. It was very unusual. Let's just say the least. It was. I know it was early. At least when I caught it, I can't quite remember, but I want to say it was like one of the first things in the morning. And I had woke up and it was just like I just turned it on and just like boom, there it was, and I'm just sitting there staring at it like, what in the world is going on? So, but I'm also not a break dancer, so I don't get to really comment on that, I guess. But that was
I mean, that just looked like a tumbleweed caught in the wind on the side of West Texas Highway. I mean,
Yeah.
the way she was spinning. I mean, I can't. That, like I said, it looked like one of my kids when you tell them no, like clean your room or go to bed or something like that, and then that's how they threw a fit. But hey, at least she was at the Olympics.
Props to her, because she's pretty much probably been the most famous one out of the whole breaking contest, even though she got a 0 score
for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Hey,
yeah. But
bake on your fame, for a little bit.
But can we say Steph Curry? Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable. That not probably like his best stretch, like a 3 or 4 minute period in his entire career.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean,
what's more valuable, a gold medal or a championship?
I would say it's up there with the finals.
Yeah, but now he's gotten everything.
Yeah,
he's got everything.
I mean, he did that. Yeah, now he's done both.
He's done what?
Yeah, because I mean, he did that during
both
with the finals with the Celtics.
Both. True.
Both. My bad.
Yeah.
BOF.
Come on now.
Yeah, it's impressive though.
But yeah,
it was awesome though.
That was awesome. All right, well, let's just get right into it, guys. And before we get started with the previews, what are your thoughts on the new kickoff setup that the NFL has going this year?
It's interesting. I get it for the safety purposes. I think teams will adapt to it eventually, but at least they're getting a chance to return the football versus just touchback after touchback.
I was gonna say, I like it more because of that. You get to see returns.
It's definitely but it definitely is. It's weird to see. It's weird to look at. I'm sure there's gonna be all kinds of penalties and flags and stuff until they get all the kinks worked out. But I mean, I don't know. It's kickoff. It's like let's get a return going. Cool. That's what it's about. So if that's what they're trying to do, then so be it.
True. Definitely been a good addition though. I mean, I get it. Safety, of course, that's always going to be first. But yeah, like I was saying, I enjoy that they're actually going to be able to actually return the ball now. So I think it'll take away a little bit of the excitement, because just seeing a dude return 108 kickoff returns pretty cool, and running that length of the field while you have both teams running at full speed is always pretty neat. You won't see that anymore, obviously, but I get it. So
yeah, it just looks weird, but I mean, it's changed.
It
so we got to use it. Yeah,
sure.
I mean, I think they said like 78% of the kicks last year were touchbacks.
Yeah.
So, and then most of the time, if they were returned, a lot of them were taken out of the end zone because guys were getting frustrated because they don't, get returns.
Yeah.
If their team's getting smashed and they're like, hey, this is the only thing I get to do, and I get one return out of 6 kickoffs, that kind of sucks. But I don't know. I think it'll be fun because you got to figure out the blocking, but I think you're going to see a lot of those little throwback, swings or reverses, or teams are going to try to spice it up to increase it. So
the question I have though is, can you do that? Because I think they're only allowed, so they can only have one guy back there. So you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like they can only have the one guy back there kicking it off, just like they can only have one returner back here. So you can't have like another guy back there. I mean, I guess he could run all the way from the line and go back, but then he obviously knows something's up then, probably, So I say you probably won't see that,
Might be some laterals.
Could be some laterals.
Yeah, I'd say
might
things
be some
like
laterals
that, of course.
Or something. Someone's gonna get creative.
Sure.
Someone's gonna get creative with it.
Yes.
All right. Well, one more quick.
Kind of like you guys are saying, though, it's a little tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Did you guys see the Forbes magazine value of the NFL teams that was just released?
I did not.
Oh, that's surprising. Well, let's take a wild gander at who is the number 1 ranked franchise.
The team you just said you loved. I love the Cowboys.
Whoa, where's the puke button?
Oh,
Where's the puke
Is
button?
this most valuable sports teams or most valuable NFL teams?
Most valuable NFL teams. The Dallas Cowboys come in valued at a record $10.32 billion.
Wow.
No other franchise is at $8 billion. And could you guys guess who number 2 is behind the Cowboys?
Patriots.
Nope. Patriots come in number 4.
Oh. Commanders.
Number 10.
Oh, wow.
Dolphins?
Niners.
Niners are number 5. Dolphins are number
Commanders.
7. That's pretty good for Washington, though, with everything that's been going on here lately, you know?
The Giants.
Number 3.
That's true.
Rams.
Rams
Wow.
are number 2.
The Rams? Yeah.
Yep. Ever since that move from St. Louis, look how much they freaking jumped up. The
LA.
Jets are number 6, and Eagles 8, and the Raiders are 9th. So that move to Las Vegas has definitely benefited the Raiders.
My team's probably like 32nd or what?
They only gave the top 10. So
okay. Well, we're not probably top 20 either. So
yeah, well, I mean, I'm sitting here thinking as a Giants fan, like, okay, we're 3rd. Like, if we had actually been relevant this last decade, we might be number 1. But I don't know. That's just weird.
Yeah, how many of those top 10 teams made the playoffs last year? Let's calculate
Forbes.
that.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Half that list.
There you go. So value doesn't always mean to success, basically.
Well, no, but obviously, if
look at the Cowboys,
the Cowboys have won a Super Bowl in over 30 years. So yeah, I mean, I remember reading that Jerry said he wouldn't sell if he had to sell the team. He wouldn't sell it for anything less than $10 billion. So that's about right.
Someone would pay that for it too, I bet.
Yeah, but they're America's team.
$10 billion, and they can't sign CD Lamb.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly.
I mean, some teams have already done that.
The delay.
Signed their quarterback and a wide receiver. That's what, Miami did. They locked up Tua and Waddle and Tyreek.
They still got to obey a cap, though. It doesn't matter how much your team's worth. Still got to go by the cap,
Of course, but the Eagles have managed to sign Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, and they gave Hurts a big contract not too long ago. But
do you think that ties into it? Does that really correlate? Because I would think like every team, that's why they have the cap, to give every team an equal advantage, to kind of sign people. I think they should, I think that's what it's for. So if you were the Panthers, you could go sign, whoever you wanted. You could go sign Dak to a $60 million a year contract if you wanted to.
Sure.
So.
No, I think you have to have a cap.
I
mean, in baseball, that doesn't always translate to everything. I mean, Dodgers have the highest payroll, and they're falling apart. They lost another prospect the other day, so you have to regulate, and then you're going to have to regulate like the amount per year.
Right.
I think you got to see, maybe bigger signing bonuses, or maybe you get like a portion of your signing bonus like each year.
Yeah.
To that way, because it's always about the guaranteed money, so that I think that would guarantee him some money at some point. All right, that was pretty cool.
Can you not be ready to hear that every weekend for the next 4 months?
Week 0 starts in 10 days in college football, so I cannot wait. But let's get into this, guys. This is the Real Tree Shakers Show, second annual NFL divisional preview. We're like we said, we're gonna go.
Yes,
we're gonna do AFC East first. AFC East first. So last year, Bills Dolphins tied But Bills did get the division. Jets, no playoffs at 7-10. We know how all that went down with them. And the Pats finished at 4-13. So this year, guys, the AFC West, their non-conference opponents are against the NFC West and the NFC North. So, but you get, one division, you play every team, and then you play one team from another division.
Yeah.
So, but that's kind of cool the way they do that. But let's start it off, guys. Mr. T, let's hear your division.
I pity the fool.
Yeah.
I pity the fool who don't
Let's
have
hear
the
your
Pats
AFC East
in last place.
preview.
Well, I'm gonna start with the Pats. Got them at 6-11, dragging in the cat in the bottom of the league. I think they can pull out 6 wins once maybe May comes in. I don't know. They'll figure out a way to win 6 games somehow. Kind of like you were saying earlier about things are just going to happen and injuries and such like that. But I just don't see them being very strong this year. And since they're in complete rebuild mode and without the old hoodie being there, so not saying that God, I'm drawing a blank
Jared
on that.
Mayo.
Yeah. I'm not saying that Mayo can't be a good coach. I just think it's what he has to work with. So, and this is a tough division with a lot of talent already around him. So, next I have the Bills, 9-8. Again, I think they have some pieces that they need to replace, or they're trying to replace. I think that rookie receiver could benefit them a lot, but I think it's just going to kind of be yeah. And I just think it's going to be the same old story there. Allen will do his thing. There's probably going to be some letdown games at times, or maybe too many turnovers or something. But I don't know. Just with their schedule and the way it was, it's tough to just see them. I mean, again, it's all guessing, but it's tough to see them winning 12 or 13 games. Next, I have the Jets at 10-7. I kind of want to see this happen, or not see it happen, but I think it can happen. I think the other side to it is that they're as dramatic right now as the Cowboys are, and I can also see it going sideways real quick. So I'm just going to go with what the talent is as far as the defense and what the offense is, and I think they can compete. But again, got a pretty tough schedule too, and I don't fully trust them. I just don't. I mean, clearly it's a make or break season for them. Like boom or bust, basically, right? So we will see how once all that smoke clears.
Do you think they would fire Solity in the early parts of this season if they get off to a slow start?
Man, oh man. I think that's a really good question, and part of me would say yes. Part of me would, because I think if you get players coming and saying things or not maybe connecting with him and or believing in what he's trying to do and stuff there, then yeah, it seems like there's already friction. So, or something's not right. But again, that's all media, hyping things up and whatnot. But it just seems like things are a little rocky already, and we hadn't even begun, or started a game. So it's hard to trust. So yeah, I mean, I could see them doing that. And then I got the Dolphins also 10-7. I don't know which way this would go as a division win for who, because I think I split the games between the two teams. But I think the Finns got a lot of talent. I think the downside to them is the fact they can't play in cold weather, and so I gave them a lot of losses toward the end of the season. Not necessarily a lot, but just a couple games there I switched back and forth to. It's like, well, they can beat this team, but at the same time, like, what's the weather going to do? And can't really fault them for last year being in Kansas City in that 10 degrees below or whatever it was. I mean, it's tough to fault anybody playing in weather like that. But
Frozen fish.
I mean,
Yeah.
just straight up frozen. Yeah, straight up frozen fish. But I mean, Chicago, Green Bay, New England, uh, name off.
Buffalo.
I mean, Buffalo, even Kansas City itself. They
Baltimore.
know how to play. Baltimore. They all know how to play in those environments, and so it's something I think the Finns gonna have. I don't know how you work on that when you're in Miami, but it's just got to be some kind of preparation or some kind of game plan to it. But they also were hurt a lot on defense last year at the end, so can't necessarily just blame it all on lack of offensive performance, since they did have a big play. But again, that's rough weather to be in. I think you just need to be prepared for it in a better sense. So, and I saw McDaniel say that earlier this week in a interview. So we'll see. I mean, I like that team. I like that coach. I think they can bring some noise, but again, it's gonna be tricky. It's a tough division. Their schedule is also pretty tricky too.
Very tough. Very tough.
Well, okay, T. So how about to pick your division winner? Which uniforms do you like better?
Finkel was a man.
Oh.
I think I don't trust the Jets, so I'm gonna have to go with the Dolphins.
Ooh, okay.
Interesting.
All right. Go ahead, Ryan. Fire away.
All right. Well, the good old Pats, like T said, they're probably going to suck, but I think they're going to play a little bit harder for some reason. I don't know. I think Mayo's going to bring it out of them, just kind of a change in culture and everything, and kind of like and Antonio Pierce kind of effect, a little bit, where I feel they're kind of going to play a little harder for Mayo. I still don't see him having much improvement. I still have them at 5-12 and in last place in the division. So, I think they're going to play better. I think we're under estimating what Drake May could be. I don't know. We'll see, but I don't have huge hopes for him, but I think they could be a little bit better. I mean, a lot of people are picking them for like 2 wins, 3 wins at most, maybe. So, in third place, I have the Dolphins at 10-7. I do think they're a great team. I do think they'll have a winning record. I still don't think they'll get over that hump, because what's changed besides Tyreek Hill being named the top 100, the number one of the top 100 players.
He's had like 18 more kids.
Yeah, he's had some more kids, right? But I think they've had some. I just don't think they're going to get over that hump yet. They're still the same team they were. I get it. They added that rookie running back, and they have tons of speed weapons on that offense, tons of speed. We'll see, because injuries plagued them a lot last year, so we'll see if that plays an effect into them. In second place, I got the Jets, also at 10-7. Having Rodgers back is going to be huge for them. I mean, the Jets won 7 games last year with Zach Wilson. I don't think there's any way they can't win 3 more with Aaron Rodgers leading them. So Breece Hall is a monster. Garrett Wilson's going to be great too. So defense always steps up. Salah's going to have them playing off the charts. So
I mean, they could easily make a Super Bowl run if they can get it all together. There's no doubt in
they could.
For sure. I just don't. It's hard to trust them. That's all it is.
For sure.
Do you think they make an in-season trade to boost the roster?
Possibly.
If they're in it.
Possibility in that. Good possibility in that.
I could see them doing something like that. And then winning the AFC East, I still have the Bills, man. But they are 10-7. So they're going to win the tiebreakers, reason why I have them first. So I do feel like they take a little step back. But reason I have the Bills is I still think they have the best player in Josh Allen in the whole division. They still have the best coach in Sean McDermott. So Still believe in them the most. Just like I said last year, they're going to take a step back. They didn't really do that. They still went pretty far, but I do think they go 10-7 and win the AFC East this year. So we'll see. I get it that they lost Stephon Diggs, but did he really do much last year? The last 8-9 games of the season,
Yeah,
he
he's
really
like the
didn't do
Dolphins
much.
receivers.
Yeah, so it was like, who, it's not like it really mattered that he's gone. So, and they upgraded with some youth. So we'll see. Keon Coleman, Curtis Samuel. We'll see what those guys can do there. But Josh Allen's going to lead them there. So
I think it matters. I think it matters him being gone as far as the defensive aspect. I mean, he was definitely someone you had to have the number one corner on, whether he was producing or not. You couldn't just necessarily leave him
Sure.
open. So
Good point.
I think that will matter. But as far as productivity, yeah, you're right. Yeah, he was invisible the last part of the season there. Yeah. But maybe it's a good thing for Buffalo not having to have that dark cloud around, and they move on too.
Right. That's true.
All right. So 10-7 is the mark to beat. All right. Well, I will start with the New England Patriots. And like we were talking before we started the show, it's hard to give teams wins, and I just don't see it. I think this Patriots team is going to be historically one of the worst offenses ever this year. I mean, if Juju Smith-Schuster can't make the Patriots, come on. Drake May can't even beat out Joe Milton. So Joe Milton might get more starts before, but I'm just if you look at their first 10 games, the worst team they play is Tennessee.
Yeah.
But at Cincy,
that's a win.
Seattle, at the Jets, at San Francisco, Miami, Houston, Jacksonville, Jets again, Tennessee, Chicago. So it's just but I can't have a team go 0-17 because, man, these guys are pros, and there's always that wacky, but I have them going 4-13. I think they're going to be battling for the number one pick. I just don't see the juice. Their best defensive player wants a new contract, and teams are starting to call about Judon. And, I like Jacoby Brissett. I would be totally cool with him on my team to win a couple games here and there, but it's gonna be a long year in New England. Coming in third place, I got the Jets at 9-8. I think it's just gonna be. They have 2, 5, 7 primetime games in the first 11 weeks, whether they're on primetime or overseas, because they have a London game. So, yeah. But forgot to mention some of Week 17's games haven't fully been scheduled, and all of Week 18 games have not been scheduled yet. So we don't know which teams are primetime, but 7 primetime games. So the NFL is thinking, okay, we better get Aaron Rodgers on early, But I don't know. I just think there's too much turbulence, and I just have the Jets falling apart and losing 4 straight to finish the season. But the team is just, there's always something going on. I think this is it. If they don't do anything, this whole team gets dismantled. Blow it up, start all over. But coming in at number 2, I got the Dolphins, 9-8. Like T said, I just don't trust this team late in the playoffs. They're fun September, October. Great for fantasy football, that's for sure. And their speed's just really great to watch. It's fun. Do you think the Dolphins would put Tyreek Hill back on kickoffs this year?
Why not? I don't know. He's injury prone, so you never know.
I was going to say, based on his injuries, I'm probably going to try to protect him as much as possible. He's their key player.
Yeah.
or one of the major ones. So
Okay, does Tyreek break 2,000 this year?
ooh,
Back-to-back 1,700-yard seasons.
I think he
No.
can. I think he can. I don't think he will though. I think he'll get to he can get to like 1,900 or something.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
was
know. The
saying
way
1900.
if he got hurt last year. He was on pace to do so. You know what? Give it to me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Book
I'll
it.
say he can.
All right. Tyreek Hill going to nut up and get 2K this year. And at number 1 winning the division, I'm with well, no T picked the Bills third anyways. So me and Ryan picked the Bills. I got them going 11-6. Same as last year. I think that it's a talented team and they're going to just rely on their quarterback. All right, but
Good.
anyways, so there he is. Okay. So the Bills, Josh Allen's too good not to be in every single game. And I don't know, I just feel like maybe with Diggs going away, he doesn't feel like he has to get the ball to him. He can spread it around because they got a lot of good weapons. Like y'all have been saying, Coleman's going to be a great rookie. I think he's
Dalton
a sleeper.
Kincaid.
Knox. James Cook had a breakout
Yeah,
year. So
James
we're going to
Cook.
see a lot. I think a lot of 2 tight end sets, and Josh Allen will just do his thing, man. And they got a little bit of a tough early schedule, but you get the Pats 2 of the last 3 games, and the Jets, if they're imploding. But I don't know. I just think he's got to get to 1 Super Bowl, right? He's too good not to.
Yes.
I mean, how many quarterbacks have been too good not to? It's just
True.
a lot of competition in the conference. So I just don't know. I don't know if they can stand up to some of the other teams.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
All right, so say let's just say Buffalo goes 10-7 and first round exit. Is it time to move on from Sean McDermott?
Yes.
Yeah, I do believe. Yeah, even though Ryan State's the best coach in the division, so
Well,
he's trying to fire.
He's done more than any of the other ones have. I mean, Saleh
Well,
ain't done much with the Jets, and McDaniel, they just lose in the first or second round every year anyways.
He's
I
been
think
there
his
2
offense
years.
is cool.
Yeah, I mean, great in September and October, But I think it'll be an interesting division. I mean, because I think the Jets have the most talent on paper.
Sure.
So if everything stays healthy, if everyone stays healthy, their key parts, this team could. Like Ryan said, they won 7 games with Zach Wilson and whoever else had to play.
It was all defense.
Yeah. So in that defense, I think that
They still got that defense. So
yeah, but I think
Right.
it all depends. I think the season just depends on the first 3 or 4 games. Tough one at San Francisco, but then Tennessee, New England, and Denver. So if they pull out of that 3-1, maybe 4-0, who knows? But
the Jets did upgrade their offensive line too, so to protect Rodgers, so that was a good thing. I don't know if Mike Williams is going to do much for them. We'll see, but Rodgers will use him, So
it's going to be a Breece Hall, big time workload.
Yeah, for sure.
And hopefully that kid stays healthy because, he's explosive. He's fun to watch. And
quick fantasy tip: take him number 1 overall because he's going to be the best running back.
I was just about to say that. Would he be one of y'all's first round picks?
If I had the first pick, that's who I'd take.
Ooh, how about you, T?
I wouldn't. I don't think I'd take him as a first pick, but first round, sure. Yeah, definitely.
I can't wait.
First
Have
pick,
you guys
first pick
done any
overall,
mock drafts?
I don't know.
Have you guys done any
Nah,
mock
not
drafts?
About 30.
Not yet.
30?
Yeah. I
Goodness.
draft from every position in every one of my leagues. So
If I had a nerd sound effect, I would play it right now.
Nerds!
Nerd!
30? Really? I haven't.
Yeah.
And we're not. You still got 2.5 weeks or something left, man.
I've
Damn.
like
I don't do the Yahoo ones that take an hour to do. I do the Fantasy Pros that take about 2 minutes to do. So it's not like I'm taking 10 hours of my day to do them.
Not on
fair.
one,
That's fair.
on 30 of them, maybe you take 10
Yeah.
hours a day.
Damn, bro.
It's
30
possible.
though.
Oh my
I'll do a
gosh.
couple, but that's about all I'm putting into it.
All
Just
right.
the way some of my leagues are and the way people draft, it's like there's no. I mean, there comes a point where it's like
It's unpredictable.
It's unpredictable. You get an idea, kind of maybe who's there, who you'd get, but nah.
I love the people I love drafting with are the homers, that will take
Oh yeah.
every single player, or they're the people that will go, okay, I need a quarterback, running back, and they fill all their starting roster up.
Yeah.
So they're taking a kicker in the 8th round. Oh, he's the highest rated kicker, and
a defense in the 8th round.
I mean, I don't know. I just don't. I love those people. So, but we have some of those.
Gold.
We have some of those in a couple of our leagues that we play in. But
for sure.
All right. So this looks like AFC East is going to be a very competitive division with some drama and turmoil. Definitely before the season starts, in season, and most definitely we will see some changes in the AFC East after the season, I think.
Yes.
But let's just stay with drama, guys, and let's go to the NFC East, where we all know one insider who's on this show. His favorite team, as we said, is now the highest valued franchise at 10.32. Commanders.
We wouldn't have that.
Get it right.
Hey, at least we got an interview.
That is true.
Forbes didn't want anything to do with the Bucks.
True.
His
True.
nose,
Brady's
their nose
gone.
is too
Okay.
high.
Yeah.
Yep. Their nose is too high for it.
I wonder what the lowest. I mean, oh God, if you're the poorest ranked franchise, you're still worth what, $6 billion? I mean, come on. So,
chop change.
Woe is me. So, all right, Ryan. T did the AFC East first. Why don't you give us our NFC East lead?
Yeah, time to be shocked.
I was just gonna give him, that way I can give him more time than the rest of us. So,
oh man, this is tough.
I'll definitely be quick.
Well, in 4th place, I'm sorry, T, but after the week 1 debacle against the Bucks, your Commanders are going to finish 7-10. So sorry. Hey, 7-10. It's respectable. Dan Quinn's first season. We'll see what he does.
I mean,
rookie quarterback. True, and I do like Daniels. He's going to be great for you guys. He's going to compete for Rookie of the Year, no doubt. He's going to have a really outstanding year. I'm curious to see running back wise what happens with them signing Eckler and still having B-Rob, bulletproof B-Rob. So we'll see what happens there. That's what I've always called him. But yeah, man. I mean, they got the weapons too in the receiving core with Terry McLaurin and John Dotson. They drafted. Why is it slipping my head right now? But I like the Commanders. I think they'll be good. I think Quinn will improve their defense too. So 7-10, pretty decent year. So in 3rd place, I have the New York Football Giants at 7-10 as well. So I guess you could say one of y'all might be 3rd, one might be 4th, but we'll see. So
I'm confused. I'm straight up confused.
Are you? Am I shocking you?
Yeah. I mean, you give the Giants 7 wins, man. Like, where?
Hey.
Oh man, dude, I don't know. I think the Burns edition is going to really help their defense. I think their defense is by far their strength. I really think it is. And I get it. Their offense may not be all that, but hey, they can win some 13-10 games. It's possible. So
We scored
I
13
mean,
points. That's awesome.
Yeah.
you're like, I'll take it.
Yeah,
But
that's
13
two
but
touchdowns and a missed extra point, by the way.
but yeah, I'm curious to see how Daniel Jones does, and this year they pretty much backed him and said it's all you. They've given him Malik Neighbors, a great weapon. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. In second place, I have the team Sean loves, the Dallas Cowboys, at 10-7. So
Wow.
shocker, right?
I figured you had them win the division 16-1.
I did
Put
debate
that
on
cookie
some.
down now.
What? Do you pick the Cowboys second? Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was there just another
I
earthquake in San Angelo too?
Yes. Shocking. But
Yeah.
I do think they people do kind of underestimate them. I think they'll figure out the whole CeeDee Lamb thing. I do think they're not going to be a great running team. Not a fan of Rico Dowdle. I think he's a great backup. I don't think he's a starter. Zeke's lost it. He's lost a step, obviously. But they still got Micah Parsons. They still got Diggs and the cornerback. So I could still see them being competitive, and I like them winning 10 games. So we'll see. In first place, y'all's other favorite team, the Philadelphia Eagles, 11-6. So I think they made some great additions. Eagles had another really good draft. I think they added a couple players that are going to really help them out. One former Giant, Saquon Barkley, obviously.
Yeah, it's a big piece.
I mean, it's not too bad. So, I think that'll help. They also added Gardner Johnson from the Lions. He'll help out, obviously. Devin White from the Bucks. So I think they kind of shored up their defensive weaknesses last year. That'll help. Obviously, anytime you have Barkley, he's going to be a huge weapon for you. AJ Brown, obviously, they got great receiving weapons, and Hurts, who you may not want to think, but he probably is the best quarterback in the division. So, as much as y'all may hate to not admit that, but
Nobody said that.
I don't know. I'm not sold on Hurts yet.
I'm not either.
True.
I mean, when he had Shane Steichen, yeah, he was awesome.
Sure.
But with all that tension and stuff with him and Sirianni, I mean, that's a position and
I think what eases the tension,
franchise.
winning. I think when they win, if they win the division, which I do think they will, just based on talent, it's a reason you could argue the Jets on paper they got the most talent by far, I think, in the division. So, but yeah, I like the Eagles winning the division. So we shall see.
All right. So, could Saquon lead the league in rushing?
Yes, he could. Will he stay healthy enough? That I don't know. That's the question.
Yeah, man, I'm going to miss him.
But he's a damn good weapon for him. I will tell you that. And hopefully they utilize him instead of the tush push all the time. So,
well, so you think they're going to do that just as much as they did before? Now
I
that
don't because
gone?
if you watch the playoff game they had against the Bucks stopped them 4 straight times on a tush push. Actually, if you go back to the 2 times they tried it before, they stopped them 6 straight times. They got 0 yards 6 straight times on a tush push. So I guarantee every team is reviewing that video, watching how did the Bucks stop this tush push, and that's what's going to happen. They're going to try it. It's not going to work. They're going to go to Saquon more. So.
And you lost Jason. They lost Kelsey.
Yeah, they lost Kelsey, so he
piece.
was the driving force behind that. So less tush push.
Less tush, more push.
Right? Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yep.
Yep.
That's like one of the biggest shocks of the podcast, I think.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
I,
Yep.
I
definitely so.
I'm really in shock.
Yep.
I figured, like I said, I figured that thing in. I figured you'd have to be praising your Cowboys.
I mean, I meant to ask you about that, but wow. Okay.
Well, I don't think they did that much. They
didn't do anything.
They didn't do
Yeah.
anything exactly.
Didn't do that much. Still haven't done anything.
They lost a running back. They lost a starter on their offensive line, and
Two starters.
two starters on their offensive line. So, they're going to struggle in some places too. But
New defensive coordinator.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Everybody's got to buy in on that. So
Yep. Yeah, Quinn had those guys playing really good till the playoffs.
A lot of question marks. That is for sure.
Yep. All right, T. Hear your NFC East preview.
Well, the bottom of the cellar, I got the Giants at 5-10 or 5-12. It's just I think Ryan's right. Like the defense is going to be solid. I think it's going to pull out some games, but you got some decent offenses in this division and in the conference. So they're going to have to probably try to play catch up several times. But I mean, until we really know what Jones and company are capable of doing, and not having Saquon, it's going to be tough for them to kind of. I think they're going to have a tough year. I hate to say it, Sean, but it's just they could have a tough year.
Oh well, I mean, don't say that like I'd be shocked if it happened again.
No,
you know?
What did you have the record at, T? What did you have the record at? Okay.
And again, part of that's the schedule that they have. Just some of the matchups. It's just like some of these other teams. I think just have a better offense, and I mean, I think the defense has improved. I think overall they have. I think it's so hard to trust It's so hard to trust, not necessarily Jones, but like just trust the entire thing. And I just think they'll be the weak link. Just somebody always will be, and I think it's just gonna be them. Third, I have Jerry's Dumpster Fire at 7-11.
JDF.
7-11. I don't know. I just think that I do think CD gets signed. I mean, I'd like to think so. I mean, it's gotten to the point where it's pretty ridiculous. You just said they're worth what, $10 billion or whatever it may be, and you can't sign your number one receiver. Like, I just don't get it. Dak, I understand you've gone through the experiment and stuff with them. So if you're trying to move on, sure, you don't want to pay him a certain dollar. Okay, sure, but I'm not sure who else you're going to get. But I just think a lot of the drama and stuff catches up to them. They have no run game. I think the defense can hold them in games and maybe even be their strength again. But are they going to all buy into what Zimmer's doing? And I don't know. It's a lot of tough calls. They come back. Guys come back from injury, which will help. But they usually have some kind of injury that does happen, and it seems to be a big one. And it's just I don't know. I don't trust them. I don't trust the entire thing, and I'm not going to sit there for 1 second and be like, well, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. Because even if they get CD, it's going to be what, Dak and CD. What, Ferguson's coming around, which he's a good tight end, and then who? Like Brandon Cooks? Like ain't no defense going to be scared of that. Yes, he has speed. I'm sure they can utilize it somehow. Josh Tolbert, I think he might have some fantasy relevant, but is it something that's going to get him over the hump?
I do like Ferguson, the tight end. I think he could have a sneaky good year for them.
I do too. I do too. But again, is it something that's going to get him over the hump? I do without a run game, I just don't see him doing much. I mean, if you get trapped in a one mode game, defense is going to pick up on that, and then they're going to shut you down, whether you have one of the best receivers or not. Like they're gonna shut you down. Second, I got the Mandos. I got them at 9-8. I don't know. I just think they're offensively. I think they'll be a lot better than they were last year. I think they'll be a little more, actually a lot more efficient. I don't know much, like Ryan said, with the Eckler thing, how that's going to play in. But with Kingsbury and saving, say, like pressure situations for JD Daniels, like just those things where I think you can dump the ball off to Eckler, get him in screens, just those kinds of plays. I think that's a huge weapon to have, and I think it can benefit him a lot. Um, and I think like the receiving core, I just think the quarterback himself is somewhat ready to play, and I think they're going to shock a couple people, and maybe even shock and steal out a couple games. But
It was
I worry about the
Luke McCaffrey. It's who I was trying to think of. I'm sorry to interrupt. Luke McCaffrey. So sorry.
from
The other
from
receiver.
what?
The other receiver for the Commanders.
Oh, okay. But I mean, I think they have some weapons. I think they can, with a good offensive mind, with Kingsbury being the offensive coordinator. He's usually good about utilizing their players to their best abilities and stuff like that. Plus, he doesn't have to coach a team; he just has to coach a certain part of it. Um, I just worry about the defense. I don't. They didn't really improve. I don't know exactly what kind of talent they necessarily have. I know Quinn's a defensive minded guy. I know he can get the best out of his players as far as those things go, but I don't know. That's a big question mark. So, I mean, 9-8 might be a little far fetched, but I think they can play somewhere around 500 ball. But I just that defense is really hard to trust. Eagles win the division, but I have them at 10-7. I think they have the talent to win 10 games. I think they have all the weapons to be able to do so on offense. I think they have improved their defense. I think it's just all about chemistry. Seems to be a lot of uh, just not necessarily miscommunication, but like much like Sean said too, like Sirianni and Hurts not getting along. Like you bring in Saquon, so that's going to take some looks away from the receivers. Are they going to be happy with that? No matter what they say, and I don't know. It's hard to trust them. It's hard to trust them. They have all the talent in the world to make a deep playoff run, if not another Super Bowl run. But again, they've been a hot mess, and so will that change? I think that's kind of the question. Like I I don't trust it that it will, and I mean I don't trust it enough to where I think they're going to win 14 or 15 games. So, but I do think they win the division. And we'll see if it works out or if they implode, because there's a chance that could happen too. So
They're the NFC Bills, basically.
I mean, I think a lot
No,
of
they're
pressure.
the
I think
Jets.
The
They're the
NFC
Jets.
Jets.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there's a window that's open for some of these teams, and it's been open for them, and it hasn't worked out. And the only thing that's happened is that window's getting closer and closer to shutting. And I mean, it's the NFL. How many times have we seen it to where a team doesn't necessarily win, go too far, and they still blow it up? So if these other guys are barely getting over the hump or not even getting in the playoffs, I mean, at this point, yeah, some of these teams are going to blow the thing up and restart. There's no doubt. Especially if there's people like Dak that aren't going to get re-signed, and whatever it may be, whatever drama goes on, it's gonna be there. So, but yeah, I just don't trust the Eagles to go deep. That's all it is.
Do you
Do
think?
not.
Okay, I think that's why I said I think the Eagles and Jets are basically identical. So, because
Yeah.
I think that I mean the Eagles
Except
fired
the Eagles
Andy
have been
Reid.
to a Super Bowl. That's the problem.
Yeah, but it's like they still have
The
the
Jets
same
haven't
core
had success in
players.
how long?
Right. But like they've had, like, to T's point, they've had a good team and they keep adding good pieces, but like why are they not getting over that hump? Like, because I mean they're loaded on on
The
paper.
Niners
Yeah, they
still
lost.
add pieces too, you know? I mean,
Yeah, but like when they were younger and less experienced, they were better than they are now.
they lost to the Chiefs
Yep.
in the Super Bowl barely, you know? It's not like they got killed or anything.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, but since then they've just kind of tethered off. And last year they going like what 1-6 in their last 7 games.
Yeah.
So I think that there's a lot of pressure on Sirianni. So, but all
Yeah.
right, So T's being stingy with these wins so
I
far.
know.
I think a lot of it's just based on the schedules. I mean, again, I didn't overthink it or anything like that, but just looking at certain games, like the time of year too, like when we get toward the cooler weather, and like there's some road games in there. And then you think about the Eagles playing the Cowboys and stuff, and it's like they usually split those games. The Cowboys win in Philly. Philly usually wins in Dallas. So, and then I think the Redskins, they said they always sneak one out. I'm sorry, the
Who?
Mandos.
Okay.
Yeah, the Who. The Mandos usually sneak one out, but the Giants usually have the Mandos number. So that's where 2 of those wins came in. And
Oh wow!
I don't know.
Thanks.
Well, I'm just
No,
trying
it's
to be
true.
trying
No,
to be
it's
fair,
true.
or not fair, but just being honest. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to be stingy with them. I guess it's just like you look at it, and it's like, well, you know, I don't know. Again, I don't trust some of these teams, and that's just how it's going to be. Plus, I'm some dude on a couch, not playing the game or working for some kind of sports show. So what do I know?
Well,
Hey, we know a lot.
more.
Come on.
Yeah, a lot more than
Yeah, I
some of
know.
these schmucks that are on TV right now.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe so.
All right.
Maybe
well,
so.
To finish off the NFC East, guys, I will have the Giants at 17-0. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I have the Giants finishing last. But I think we do get better. But at 8-9, I like the Giants. I think the defense is going to be fantastic, and I'm just hoping that, like, the whole time with Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley and barely getting to play with each other, so it's put up or shut up time for DJ, and I'm rooting for the dude. You could tell he works his butt off. Everybody likes him. I love the fact that he's jumping in the middle of the training camp fights to stick up for his teams, and it's known that they wanted Jaden Daniels in the draft. They tried to do everything they could to move up
Sure.
to get one of the QBs, but hopefully, it works out for him and he actually can play a full year. Neighbors is going to be a blast to watch. But it's all about that offensive line. Andrew Thomas is an all-pro left tackle, but that's what's plagued him, and you lose your best weapon to a division rival. So it's gonna be interesting. But like you guys were joking earlier, because I'm not gonna take you serious when you say we win 13-10, because 13 is a lot of points for us. But I don't know. We'll see. Do you think if the Giants finish 6-7 wins, Dayball's fired?
I don't know. That's a tough call. I can't really say I think it's been all his fault, or would be all his fault. I think the quarterback position is very key. I think like you said, the offensive line. So those two go hand in hand. I feel like they did try to do some stuff to improve it. But I think a lot of that stuff taken out of his hands, and so maybe they go in a different direction.
This is his third year coming up. Third year, right? So what was his record last year?
6-11.
Okay.
With Tommy DeVito, hey. But I don't know. We'll see.
I mean,
I
he
don't.
took him to the playoffs. He took him to the playoffs their first year. They won a playoff game, right? I believe they beat the Vikings.
Yeah, they beat the Vikings. Yeah,
in Minnesota.
So you gotta give him some credit there. He's had one bad year, or I guess would be bad to mediocre. So yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. I mean, depending what they do this year, I don't think.
Well, if Sirianni's job's in trouble, I would sure as hell hope Dayball's job's in trouble. And y'all want to fire Sean McDermott after winning like 11, 12 games every year, and like, oh, he might get fired.
I did. You said the question was asked to you if Sean McDermott would be let go if they didn't do well, and you said yes. So what are you doing, man? Like,
no, but I'm just saying, like,
I think the window closes for some of these teams. Like, how many opportunities? I mean, I don't think it's necessarily they have how many opportunities you're going to get, but it's the this as well as anybody, man. These
Yeah.
guys think Super Bowl win or if you don't win the Super Bowl, they're going to blow the whole thing up and move on. It happens
Yeah.
every year to almost every team, or it's just the way they think. And the guy that team's had, or the guys had multiple opportunities. So I mean, why not? Why wouldn't he be on the hot seat? Like I I just don't see why he wouldn't. And with Dayball, I don't know. He doesn't have nearly as much talent as some of these other teams do, and it's kind of tough to even put him in that circle. But it's also the NFL.
I
I
think
don't think he
Dayball's going
can't.
to get another year to prove
I agree.
himself. I don't think they'll get rid of him after this year.
I
He'll
don't
get one
either.
more year.
Well, I mean,
So-
you
I
have
don't
to give
either.
it time. It's kind of like a recruiting class for
Sure.
college. You know, you
sure.
should give a coach a full 4 years because you got to look at the mess that Joe Shane is trying to clean up from Gettleman. You know what all he's done. You know, we're finally over the Kenny Galladay dead cap hit. You know, that horrible contract. You know, and yeah, they might have overpaid for Daniel Jones, but the guy, you know, we'll see. Playing for his job basically next year.
This
Because if
year.
he, well, I'm saying for next year, because after this year, all the guaranteed money's paid to him, so
True.
much easier to move off of him. But I think the Giants will be better and a little more competitive. But in third place, I got Ryan's Cowboys at 9-8. I just, I don't think all these contract talks are really going to affect the team unless CD just doesn't report. But Dak's already there. Mike is there. Zach Martin wants a new deal. But I just don't. I don't know. I just feel like it's not going to go the Cowboys' way this year because, and it's
Yep.
not any hatred. It's just that like one high ankle sprain to CD Lamb. What are you going to do? You know, like
100%. 100%.
I mean, I like Dak. He's a good dude, but little maybe elevated. He had a great year last year, but can they repeat it again? Like you guys were saying, the running game's a little suspect. I just losing 2 offensive starters, including a Hall of Famer at left tackle. That's gonna be hard to replace. You know, like we said, new D coordinator. Diggs is coming back from his injury. Parsons probably plays arse off trying to get that new deal. So that's what we get to talk about next summer as
Right.
Parsons
He gets
holding
hurt.
out. Yeah, exactly. So
So
I don't know. It's just, I feel like it's a weird year. You know, it's like Dallas has set itself up to hit the reset button if the season doesn't go the way it's supposed to.
Fire the coach. Get rid of
could
Dak.
walk. Yep.
Fire the coach. He's
McCarthy's on
done.
his last year.
Yep.
DeMarcus Lawrence will be gone. So there's a lot of money and easier to move off of. But I just don't know. But yeah, it's going to be an up and down season for the Cowboys. I think they got a lot of tough road games. I mean, we're starting with week 1 at Cleveland and that defense. So, and then they to New York, to Pittsburgh, but Baltimore week 3.
At
Then
San Francisco.
Yeah. Houston at home, but that'll be a split game. You know, the Manders always play the Cowboys kind of tough.
Well, the Texans are probably going to have a bunch of fans there. That'll probably be like a 50-50 game.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a tough schedule. But I do have week 17 deciding the second place finisher in this division because the Manders are going to beat the Cowboys in week 18.
Usually how
Secure
it
a wild
goes.
card. Yep. So I got the Manders at 10-7. I don't know. I'm thinking all that bull junk is out of the building with Dan Snyder and his crap, and maybe a new, fresh revival for this team. You got a new voice. One of our favorite field goal Ron is gone, unfortunately. So we'll be talking less field goals this year.
That's fortunately.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think Quinn's going to improve the defense, at least make them middle of the pack. But Washington's got some good weapons. I mean, adding Eckler, I think, is huge. That means your third down game is going to be ridiculous. B-Rob is a really good back. He just didn't get the ball enough last year. Scary Terry, Dotson. I like what Washington is doing. But the O-line, if they can get a little bit better, and I think Washington will be a team to deal with, because I think Daniels is the real deal. And Kingsbury is a really smart offensive coach, and I can't remember, one of you said it, that like he just has to concentrate on the offense and not run the whole team. So I think
he'll do a good job.
Yeah. So I mean, because you see what he did with Kyler Murray, and I could see Daniels being better than Kyler Murray. And so that means the Eagles I have winning the division at 11-6, but this, I mean, season could be just like the Cowboys. But the Eagles have more talent on paper. I mean, like I said earlier, I don't know how good Hurts really is, but I think it's a big year for him too. Defense, I think, is going to be good. They're bringing Brandon Graham retired, so they lost their voice on defense. I think it's probably Fletcher Cox's last year. They'll probably hang it up after this year. The kid Jordan Davis that they drafted from Georgia a couple years ago, he kind of hasn't really lived up to the hype. But we'll see. On paper, this offense should explode. With Saquon, I mean, the screen game, quick passes to Brown, but like was said earlier, I think, do you keep the wide receivers happy? Because I think you're going to have to run the ball to keep Hurts healthy, because he was hurt. You could tell he just wasn't right last year. Probably maybe side effects from all those tush pushes catching up to him.
Sure.
But, I mean, you're not wrong. I mean,
I don't know.
He just didn't look right, and it's I don't know. It's just hard to trust them. They have all the talent in the world, and it's just hard to trust them. It's hard to look at them and be like, they're a good team. They're going to do this and this and this. It's like, I don't know. The whole entire division's kind of hard to trust right now. So
yeah, I think it's going to be highly competitive. I mean, I had everybody except for the Eagles going 3-3. I got the Eagles at 4-2 in the division, so it's going to be tough. I mean, teams are going to get better, and then there's always the trap games,
weather games. Just name it.
Yeah,
injuries. I mean, all the factors. That's what's so hard to predict, or especially some of these teams where you look at it, you're like, It's like, again, I don't, honestly, between these two divisions, I don't really trust a single team. I don't trust a single one of them.
So no Super Bowl contenders in any of them, you don't think?
I think they're all. I think they're all. I think there's some teams that are very capable of getting there and doing so, but name one team that's on either one of those divisions that has proven us wrong. I mean, you just go through and it's like they get in those games and they just don't win. It's usually the favorites or the team that you would think is going to win. So, and I'm not going to go off. I'm not going to change my mind on any of that stuff. No team, none of those 8 teams in those two divisions have proven anything to myself to be like, oh yeah, you can beat the Chiefs or you can beat the Ravens in a slot game. And even that, it's not necessarily I trust the Ravens. I just think that, again, they have more depth of talent than some of these other teams do. Buffalo, sure, much like what you're saying, like kind of, I mean, I could see them winning the division or being up there, much like I kind of have them. But again, I just don't trust them. I just don't trust any of these teams.
I think the Eagles on paper have the best team. If you look at it, every position, they're fairly stacked. I mean, they are.
They definitely do.
They should be a 13-win team. If you look at
the
talent,
click? Are they gonna? I mean, they've.
Well, they got a lot of the same team together. For the most part, it's not a lot of new
last
people.
2 or 3 years, so.
And they made the Super Bowl one of those years.
And lost.
True.
Should have won.
And that's no hate on them. I think it's just like, are they gonna? there's a lot of questions there. Again, are they gonna click? Do they have the chemistry? And by all means, they should be, they should win 13 games.
Are there enough
And
footballs for everybody?
exactly.
I don't know.
But
It's exciting. I love it. I forgot
it
to
is.
mention AFC North and AFC South were the opponents for the NFC East this year.
Yeah.
You know what I thought was really weird and kind of stupid is that the Manders only got 2 primetime games. That was it.
Mhm.
Yeah, a little surprising.
Yeah.
At least they got some. I don't think they had any last year, right?
They had a Monday night game and a Thursday night game.
Oh,
I think they had a
Thursday
Sunday night game too. I think they had 3.
Yeah.
Well,
Cowboys have
maybe
7
so.
primetime. Eagles have.
Hey, they still might. Hey, it's week 17
5.
and 18 still open, so they still
That's
might
very
sneak one in
true.
there.
That's very true. I like that flex scheduling.
Yeah.
To put the more meaningful games. And like I said, man, your game's going to be prime time because I said the Manders are going to beat the Cowboys in week 18 to get into that wild card spot.
Ooh.
But football on Thanksgiving, football on Christmas Day this year on a Wednesday. You'll have to have Netflix to watch that live.
I'll say it's on Netflix.
So that's going to be kind of weird. So, but I think the NFL did it right. With the primetime games this year, they got a lot of good matchups, but that could all change, based on injuries and
Sure.
if there's any early season implosions. So, well, that's the AFC East, the NFC East previews. So go put your bets on your over/under bet totals, but you can already tell just from this first episode, guys, that we're all on different thoughts on a lot of these teams.
I wanna post it on our Facebook page too. I want to post our predictions. So
well, we
Feel
can do
free.
that.
we need to do that.
That's
sure.
That's your area, Mr. Social Media. And since we're on that topic, why don't you tell these people
Good
where
segue.
they can find?
So you can find the Real Tree Shaker Show on Facebook,
Deep voice.
on Instagram, on X, on YouTube, on TikTok. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and on iHeart. Please please share, please comment, please let your friends and family know how great our show is and what you would like to hear from us. We would love to hear from you.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
It's like after 11 p.m. voice.
Yeah.
Yes,
Come on now.
strong, subtle, sexy type.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know how else you would label that, but,
Mhm.
I don't know. A lot of people could be.
I think there definitely could be a lot of people.
It could be
Oh, there we
that too. I don't know. Maybe Tyreek Hill puts on Ryan's voice as the night starts. But yeah, but I don't know. Another fun episode, guys.
Yes.
I love it. I don't know
Football.
why the outro isn't playing, but anyways, thanks for listening. We'll be back. We're not sure which division we're going to do next, but we'll be back here soon, getting you ready for the football season. And as always, this has been the Real Tree Shaker Show. Bye.
Peace.
There it is. Now we can go. Whatever.